Hello everybody, welcome to North of the Blue. This is Ryan Butcher. I'll be talking about the market and what is happening with it according to North of the Blue technical analysis. So we're going to start off with the chart IYY. And for those of you unfamiliar with North of the Blue, this top is called the trend, where we have our blue moving average and our trend line. Then we have the power graph, which we have these two black and blue lines that are going to be squiggling all over the place. And then we have the volume graph, which shows red and blue days. Red being a sell day, blue being a buy day. So we can go down here and look for the last 3 days. We have buy days today, IYY according to this. Overall market went up $1.12. And then we have the power lines, as we can see. Since the blue days, these lines are going up. And the trend line is going up. So the rule of thumb for North of the Blue, the basic rule is when the trend line crosses the blue moving average, that would be the time to enter, and when it crosses the blue moving average again, going the opposite direction and turning black to red, that is the time to exit. And we have rules at the power graph that we can go into later, but looking at this currently, in late July we saw a downgrade of the US system, and so the stock market dropped. And I'm going to click on this bar down here to click bars, and we're going to click off this trend, and we can see that this drop on a daily basis was quite volatile and came crashing down. So now that we see the market coming back up, the trend line has almost reached the blue moving average. Now since July we have been in a bearish market, is going down trend, at least in my opinion. So we saw these huge moves pushing up, coming back down, but nothing has pierced the blue moving average, so nothing has enacted a rule for us to enter the market. But let's just go on to specific markets like the Dow Jones. I use DIA for this, the ETF, and we can see that it basically looks the exact same as IYY. We have the moving market, we have the trend line coming up, about to hit the blue moving average. So we're going to see if the power can, or the momentum can move up. I mean, how we tell that is we're going to look at these power lines. Now, the rule of thumb here is that when the power lines are together, they're going to be stronger. When they're separate, they're going to be not as strong. So according to the power graph, both of these power lines have to move across the 50 line for the trend to move above the blue moving average. We want to see the black above the blue. However, we've seen the blue above the black, which is why this hasn't been able to pierce the blue moving average, this trend line. So we're going to see another push up in October, and possibly tomorrow or the next day we might see this push across the blue moving average and see the markets rise a little bit. But let's go on to some of the markets. SPY for the Spider ETF. As we can see, this is moving up, trying to cross the blue moving average as well. We have those 3 large buy days. And let's go to the NASDAQ, the QQQ, which they just changed that ETF name. Now this is interesting because it actually did close above the blue moving average. So going back to the trend line, you might see this thin black line. You see it all throughout here, and if you ask what that is, this trend would be the low of the stock. The channel, which is what this thin black line is called, the channel line, is the close. So this did close above, so we're actually going to see a support line created. So interesting enough, we actually do have a support line here and a support line here. Now these green horizontal lines are support and resistance. So this, for the NASDAQ, is going to be a really interesting day tomorrow to see if we're going to see it push up. It will push up to $55. So see another $1.20 put on the S&P. If it drops down, you're going to see it probably right between this moving average or the support line. Now, looking at these, the power lines, though, however, are together more so than the Spider and the Dow Jones diamonds. So let's keep our eye on that. Now you may ask, where has the money been? Well, let's go look at bonds. For bonds, we're going to take a look at AGG. Now July, you can see that the bonds have actually been going up since March pretty steadily. So, but July we really see that push up, and late July, there you go, that's the downgrade of the United States, and bonds really soared. Now, that is where some of the money has gone. The other money is treasuries. Since the quantitative easing didn't happen, what we had was the treasuries expired, and the Fed's probably dumped all of that money back into buying its own treasuries, and we have the treasuries scoring high. So if sky high. So if the market actually does continue to go up, you'll see these treasuries fall down towards that blue moving average, which is sitting about $109.60 right now. And that is where the money has been. Now, real quickly, let's go take a look at metals. We're going to start off with silver, because silver has been very volatile along with gold. We had this very large drop in silver, back down to $29, and you can actually see this, it bounced right off the support line that we set last February when silver started to sky high. We came all the way back down to that point at $27.40. So that is where silver is. Power lines are together, trying to move out of our lowest line, 15%. We'll see what that does. Let's go to gold. Gold is also took a drop, as all did metals, and it's still trying to reach out of that 50%. So we have this unseen resistance line right here at about $161, let's call it. The last metal I want to take a look at is copper. Copper is used in all of our manufacturing and infrastructure, so copper is one of the most important things to keep your eye on. And it's JJC is the ETF we're going to be looking at. And we can see copper has risen the past days, but I mean it has had a large drop since August. So metals, we definitely had a metal bubble. It just burst. So if you want to take a look at metals, I'm pretty sure now would be the time. As for the technical trader, watch our charts, watch the North of Blue charts, and use our indications. If you're having trouble making money with this program, well, we need to review the rules, which, if you need to review the rules, let's send me email at ryan@northoftheblue.com, and I can resend the tutorial, or we can sit down for an hour, and possibly, if we get enough interest, we'll start doing our webcast again, explaining how North of the Blue works, and people can come bring their suggestions and charts to look at. So, again, send me your feedback at ryan@northoftheblue.com, and I hope everybody is doing well with this market, and I will talk with you later.